For those with lethal confidence, here's how we overcome obstacles. It's worth saying, again, nothing stops you. Think about it, believe it, and live it. Nothing stops you. Remember that. Nothing. Do anything and everything to get by. This is your dream. Don't let anything stop you. Sometimes this means cutting back in certain areas, such as minimizing some of your bills or going without certain luxuries so you can spend that time and or money working on your dream. Rejection doesn't exist in my world, and it shouldn't in yours. When someone tells you no and means it, you might say, well, thank you for not wasting my time. I'll move on to someone else. Whoever rejects you is someone you don't ultimately want to do business with anyway. Next, move on. Rejection should embolden you, motivate you to perform better. As one door closes, another door opens. Life is just like that for that very reason. Accept that sometimes bad things happen and changes must be made. There's no guarantees with life. By accepting the fact that unexpected things do happen and are often out of your control, learn to deal with it. There's always room for a plan B, plan C, D, and E in your original plan A. When things don't turn out the way you expect them to, and sometimes they don't, for whatever reason, your next plan or alternative might serve you better than your first plan. You gotta love that. Not a dime to your name. Only one set of clothing? That's what some famous and prosperous people look back on during their days of struggle on their way to the top. Who hasn't struggled to fulfill a dream? Does that describe you? Take comfort in knowing those things don't matter. What matters is your internal drive to get you where you want to go. You can reward yourself later with that costly pair of whatever it is that you want to get when the time comes. If you get something for nothing or not having to make an effort to earn it, you probably won't appreciate it for long. Some lazy people look forward to an inheritance or bi-weekly lottery tickets. Well, personally, I'm my own lottery ticket, and so are you. If you are focused on your ship coming in, you will invariably forget that personal usefulness and application to one's desires is the only true direction one should travel when pursuing real happiness and fulfillment. Don't wait. Go for it. Build your own boat. How bad do you want it? Bad enough not to let anything get in your way to the top? That's the attitude. Carry on, dream soldier. I'm a strong believer that anyone can achieve the goals they set for themselves if they just go for it. Sometimes it takes courage to step out of your comfort zone, try new things, and overcome your doubts and fears. I've been there. But what got me through many of the races of life was focusing on the end result. I saw myself as a winner. If you come in 2nd or 10th place, are you still a winner? Absolutely. Because you finished the race and maybe even broke your own record. A personal best. When you make the effort to move forward, develop and grow, you're right on track to win in your own world. And that's what counts. A really great and famous bodybuilder was asked once, what do you think about the competition? And the bodybuilder responded, what competition? I compete against myself. I love that. Deadlines? So you miss them. So you miss a lot of them. So you keep moving the goalposts again and again. And that's how things have to roll sometimes. Deadlines are good, and you can even say to yourself that you're around the corner from finishing X. But in reality, you're not. But saying it to yourself is encouraging in the fact that you're almost done. When things take longer, they just do. Don't get upset at that either. Literally, some projects take longer than you could have ever imagined they would. So, accept it, live with it, and keep working. Maybe there are reasons that you're not where you need to be in your plan or in your life. Maybe you're overwhelmed right now with due dates and not up to technology or allowing others to overrun your time, not solving work and or personal issues, or maybe you aren't communicating effectively with the people that need to understand what's going on in your world. First of all, do know these are fixable problems. When things take longer, they just do. Sometimes you need to be honest with yourself and others and recognize that you can't meet a certain deadline. That's life. Adjust your schedule appropriately and get back at it. All you need is enough to get you by while you work on your dream. Who cares if you don't have this or that, or you have to go without this or that? Who cares if you don't have money to go out and buy this or that? So what? Those things don't matter when you're chasing down a dream. You'll have plenty of time to have fun when your work is done. I need to repeat that. It's actually pretty good. You'll have plenty of time to have fun when your work is done. Confidence in yourself will get you through basically anything, especially lethal confidence. It really is mental armor to shield you from anything and everything that could come your way to try to knock you off your course. Here's an analogy of a rock band. You're going to be the biggest band in the world, even though you haven't written one original song yet. You got to think it first. You got to believe it second, so you can then pursue it third, and then live it fourth. Struggling while you pursue your dream can often be viewed as a rags to riches story, and they inspire us. A person starts out dead broke, works relentlessly towards a dream, and suddenly things take off. Andrew Carnegie, industrialist and philanthropist, is a perfect example of a person that went from dirt poverty, totally unsupported, to a net worth of more than $400 million. Today, that'd be worth around $400 billion. Role models who get it, understand what it's like to work in the trenches, inflame our passions, and reassure us that anything is possible. So go for the rags to riches story. That's a lot more entertaining and fun and exciting to chase after. You're working hard, and you know it. So, it's not a crime to be good to yourself during this time now and then. Treat yourself to something special every now and then. Reward yourself along the way of you working so hard on your dream. You deserve it. Don't beat yourself up. This is an easy one to rectify. Admit that you are human and humans make mistakes, or they don't get the job done all the time on time, and that's just the way it is. Move on. You don't need the stress, and besides, it only diminishes your productivity, which can be crippling. You can't afford an attitude that is less than positive. If you find that you instinctively berate yourself, question your abilities, then make it a daily habit to turn a negative into a positive. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Let's talk about being driven. As long as you're not running over people, go around them, or stepping on too many toes on your way to the top, hey, being driven is one wild way of you being wholly focused on what it is that you're chasing. What makes anyone driven to do what they do is a personal thing. Find what drives you mad, crazy, and insane with excitement to do what you want to do. And then crank up that volume. Is your environment holding you back? It might be time to get rid of some stuff that doesn't mean anything to you anymore, or stuff that brings about negative memories. It may also mean spending less time or even closing off certain relationships with some people who are holding you back. Their goals are not yours. If they're not helping you in some way, shape, or form, directly, indirectly, then most likely they're not coming along for the ride or have a say in what you're doing. Drop them. At least for a listening to what they have to say point of view. Don't drop them as a friend or a family member per se, perhaps, but just don't bring up your dream pursuits with them. Keep it to yourself, as they may fall on deaf ears every time, and they may actually wind up resenting what you're doing. They might want to make plans to sabotage what you're doing. No, don't give them the ammunition to shoot you down. No. And lastly, if you're waiting for the perfect time to start, then let me make it easy for you. The right time will always be now. If you're waiting for the perfect time to start, that time is right now. Whew. How's that so far for overcoming obstacles? Well, I've got another 27 more tips on overcoming obstacles inside my other book, Motivate Yourself to Succeed, if you want more. And you can actually listen to the audio for that book, Motivate Yourself to Succeed, over at motivateyourselfttosucceed.com/audio, or just go to my YouTube channel. I've got the whole book there for you to listen to in its entirety. Now, here are a few excerpts coming up right now for overcoming naysayers from that same book. Come on, let's check out that audio right now.